Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out our Facebook Live session on making Hanukkah meaningful for kids of all abilities. I'm Gabrielle Kaplan-Mayer, and I'm the director of Whole Community Inclusion here at Jewish Learning Venture in Philadelphia. And with me today is
Hi, I'm Mikey, and I am a rabbinical student at the Reconstructionist Rabbinical College, and I am Gabby's rabbinic intern at Whole Community Inclusion.
It is awesome to have you with us today, Mikey.
It's awesome to be here.
And Mikey's been working with me over the last year, really, on all of our initiatives geared towards synagogue inclusion, providing resources for families. And so today we know that Hanukkah is just a week away. We want to give some ideas that if you're raising a child who has special learning or behavioral supports that will help you think about setting up Hanukkah in a meaningful way. These tips are great for all kids, actually, young kids and really everyone in the family. And if you're an educator, I hope you're tuning in and we'll take something away to use for your Hanukkah program. So Mikey, let's start out with just like a personal getting into the Hanukkah mood. When you thinking about yourself as a kid growing up, what made Hanukkah meaningful for you?
I loved Hanukkah because I loved being with my family, and my dad made the best latkes.
Oh, yum.
And we would decorate Hanukkah cookies with my family. And also, when my parents gave us presents, they would hide them in nooks and crannies in the house. And then we would have to play a game to find the presents in the house.
And was that something they did like year after year?
We still do that when we get presents.
That's pretty awesome. So I just want to point out of what you said, Mikey, that creating rituals for your family is something that kids can look forward to, especially for our kids who have anxiety, our kids who have autism. Doing things year after year helps them to know what to expect. So family rituals are really important. What about anything special you're going to do with, I know you're teaching right now and working at some different synagogues.
We're having a big synagogue-wide Hanukkah party, and all the families will be there and all our students. We're going to decorate our own menorot, definitely spin the dreidel, definitely have some latkes. And then at school, we're having a latke cook-off, a competition.
Oh, it sounds like so much fun.
To see who can make the best.
Cool. So we know that there are events out in the community. I'm going to post in the comments. We're actually having a really cool sensory-friendly Hanukkah at Ohev Shalom in Bucks County. Really excited for that. And, if you have thoughts about how to make your Hanukkah programs inclusive, just feel free to post your questions or comments. So, yeah, Mikey, go ahead.
Can I ask you some questions about things you've brought to the table that we can use for Hanukkah?
Absolutely. So I wanted to say that the things that we have here, again, can be used with every child, but often for our kids, whether they have sensory processing issues or intellectual disabilities, we want to go beyond just, telling them the story of Hanukkah. We want them to experience Hanukkah, experience the rituals, build a personal, emotional connection to what the holiday is all about. And it could be through cooking, through music, through spinning the dreidel. So I have some things here we're going to look at and think about together. Go ahead.
Great.
Pick anything you want to start.
Okay, the first one.
Okay.
Tell me about this.
Oh, this is really cool. I'm going to put the link here in the comments. This is a visual Hanukkah blessing for the candle lighting that's produced by our friends at Having Pictures, as well as the words there. So this is something that they can follow along as your family's singing the Hanukkah blessings.
How about some Hanukkah books?
Yeah, all right. So PJ Library to start out with. I actually pulled this one up as an educational book that can be used at Hanukkah time. Nathan Blows Out the Hanukkah Candles is a really great PJ Library book that can help siblings and help peers understand about the differences of a child with autism. It's about a family that has two brothers, and one child who is on the autism spectrum, has a hard time understanding when we blow out birthday candles, why don't we blow out Hanukkah candles, right? They're both candles. And it really takes us into the experience of the family. So it's a great one. This book is a great one to read and do a bit of education for your peers.
Thanks, Gabby.
Yeah.
How about another one or two?
Yeah. So I also picked out a couple books. So I should say, Mikey, that I'm, in addition to my work with whole community inclusion, I'm a parent of a 14-year-old and almost 15-year-old son.
Yeah.
Who has autism and has an intellectual disability. So I'm always looking for resources that are academically and, socially, emotionally developmental for him. This is a little Hanukkah book someone gave us that has pictures with the song Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah. And I sing a lot with my son. So it's got these cute little pictures. Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. And so books that you can sing to your kids. I'm going to pull out my books today so that we have a week leading up to the holiday to actually do it. In special education, there's a phrase, preview, do, review. And before we get to the experience of celebrating Hanukkah as a family, let's preview it. Let's bring out these books and remember. Speaking of music, PJ Library has a new online station, PJ Rock Radio. We'll put the link there where they have Jewish music. And I know there'll be tons of Hanukkah music on there. On our jkidphilly.org website, which we'll also post in the comments, we have a Spotify Hanukkah playlist that we've played. And so for many kids, that multisensory approach, music is so foundational for learning about the holiday, for getting in the holiday feeling, that ritual aspect. Some of those songs, you and I just launched into Hanukkah because it's in that long-term part of our memory. Right. And we want to build that for our kids who might struggle with memory or attention issues. So start playing our playlist and you'll like it too. They're really a lot of really cool songs.
And portable too, so you can listen in the car, you can listen on a walk.
Oh yeah, you can have it on your device, on your child's device. Exactly. This is another, just again, an example of a PJ Library book, How Do Dinosaurs Say Happy Hanukkah? It's a series. A lot of kids are super into dinosaurs. It's just simple, but it's got all the symbols of Hanukkah there, so the kids can start, again, that preview stage, reviewing and remembering before the actual holiday begins.
Okay, this is a biggie.
Yeah, we have some iPads here in the office. Oh, we have a comment. Thanks so much. I think Sirius Radio has a Hanukkah station too. Cool. So if you have your Sirius in the car, just again, start playing it, start tuning in. Thanks so much for sharing that. A lot of our kids who require some learning supports may have an iPad that they're using. Maybe for communication, it may be learning games. They may watch their videos on their iPad, and there's so many cool Jewish apps that you can download, and we'll post some of those after in the comments so you can find them. And on our iPad, we have a number of pick one, Mikey.
How about Hanukkah coloring?
Okay, and hold that up.
Here's some dancing latkes.
Isn't that cute? You want to do a demo of the color?
Sure. So you pick a color at the bottom and you just touch the screen and move your finger around to color a latke teal.
And then why not? and then you can just erase them.
And then you can save it or send it to someone that you love.
I want to say that for my son and for many kids I observe who have struggles and challenges with their fine motor control, and holding crayons and holding markers is a challenge. These coloring that you can do with your finger on a touch screen on an iPad are really neat. There's so many fun Hanukkah pictures. We do have, just speaking of coloring, we do have on our jkidphilly.org Hanukkah page some coloring pages and Hanukkah cards that you can do. And if using a marker or crayon is hard for your child, try dot paints. They're, those dot paints
those
might
are
be
fun.
yeah, and they can make a really great picture. Someone else posted, Mama Here's a Who. Any suggestions about helping kids bring Hanukkah to their classrooms? My son is just one of very few Jews in his class, and Christmas tends to take over. Yeah, I hear that. I think that all of the things that we're showing, make your list of Hanukkah books that would be age appropriate, that you could send in. That's a great place to begin. And we're going to show some personal pictures. Might be neat if a child's comfortable sharing with their friends in school. Here are pictures of what Hanukkah looks like in my family so they can tell about it. We're going to talk about cooking in a minute. If there's an opportunity, I know not always so with food allergies and issues, but if you can take in some latkes or some chocolate gelt, think kids who haven't had any experience to Hanukkah, as well as just taking in the Hanukkah and candles and showing kids what it looks like. So,
And dreidels.
yeah, all these multi-sensory ideas. Thank you for that question. Cooking. All right. So these are some visual recipes from, I have a kids cookbook called The Kitchen Classroom. Link will be in the comments, I promise. And it has visual recipes. These are some recipes that I started doing with my son when he was just 4 years old, and a lot of sensory processing issues, intellectual, disability, as well as fine motor issues. And cooking is something that if you break it down in small enough steps, step by step, that kids of all abilities can participate in. This is our recipe for sweet potato latkes. And it just shows, again, all these things that in a cookbook might go really fast, like, drain the potatoes. Well, what does that look like? Putting them in a colander, patting them down, pouring the potato, doing the actual process step by step. So I'll put this in here. But I really encourage, I think that's something that families can do together. Sometimes our grandparents aren't sure how to connect when a child needs extra support. And if cooking's important in your family, that's something that you could bring in the generations to do together. Again, breaking it down step by step, giving everyone a role, even if it's holding the grater. I've taken with kids doing hand over hand with them to do a potato, and how proud they feel of what they did to contribute to the latkes.
And then the latkes taste even more delicious.
So much more delicious. So much more. What's this? Oh, this is something that I also downloaded to share from the Gateway's website. It's a social story. And a social story is something that's used widely in special education to teach kids something that is simply going to happen, something very normal and ordinary, but so that kids get a preview of it and can begin to process it. So in this, we were talking about the book about Nathan, the boy who has trouble understanding that we don't blow out the Hanukkah candles. Yeah. Nathan probably could have used this social story that it explains, it goes through the process of how we light candles on Hanukkah and how they burn and how they don't blow them out. And by having the visual there, it helps kids to experience and get comfortable with that before they actually begin. Gateways has great stuff, and I'm always happy to share that out in the world.
This is a fun puzzle with lots of pieces.
Lots of pieces. Yeah, again, our kids who, anything that their kids might be working on in school, whether it's a young child or an older child who developmentally is still working on some of these large, chunky puzzles, you can find them now on Amazon. If you have a local Judaica store, I encourage you to go check it out. But you can find great puzzles like this that you can have out so that kids get that experience of, just recognizing the Hanukkah candles and the dreidels. This one I especially liked. I don't even know if they're making it anymore just because it has them numbered. So it's a great matching activity.
And it teaches you how to load up the candles onto the menorah.
Yeah.
And how to light them.
This one, Mikey, I was sharing with you, my son started playing with when he was 2. He's almost 15. So invest in a puzzle. You'll get good use out of it.
Okay. How about this banner?
Okay. This is the same kind of idea. This is one that I think my mother-in-law picked up at a Judaica store one year when my kids were young. But you could certainly make one yourself out of a piece of felt. You'll find them and also, on Amazon or in a Judaica catalog. But the same idea that we want to help the kids practice lots of skills related to the candles. They can practice counting. If kids are working on one-to-one correspondence, you can help them to practice right to left. You can help them actually do preview before they help you put the Hanukkah's candles in the Hanukkah, how they go in, how you light them. And speaking of the candles, I really encourage families, this again, all families have a Hanukkah for each child in the family. And if the child has fine motor challenges or has anxiety and isn't sure how to do it, just do hand over hand with them with the lighting. And as the years go on, hopefully they'll build up the skills and that muscle memory of holding the candle and lighting the candle. But especially for our kids that have trouble waiting and, have not developed that ability yet to take turns, don't create a drama between the siblings. Just have one set out for everyone so they can light. Yeah. We've got a few more things to show you.
Some photos.
So I just printed out a couple of photos of my families from years past. And this is one. We got Uncle Greg in this one and my kids. And you can see I'm actually doing a little hand over hand with my son. And then Mikey, this last one was just from last year. It's my family with the Hanukkah candle in the background. But for many of our kids, especially kids with autism, who may not have what we call episodic memory, the ability to recall up a social event, what it was like. Pictures can be great cues. And then you can really work that experience with them. And you can identify the emotions. Look how happy you felt when we were lighting the candles together. I remember how proud I was of you that you were lighting the candles with the family, and really give the kids that narrative, that story of what happened, so that in a few days when you go to light the candles again, we're acknowledging this is something different. We don't light candles every day. Right. We light them, Hanukkah candles, 8 days out of the year. These are really special, unique 8 days, and we want to invite all of our kids into that experience. There was one other thing I wanted to add that I had mentioned to you earlier, that at this time of year, we have a lot of expectations of our kids with attending family Hanukkah parties and big Hanukkah events, and really to think about where your child is socially and developmentally. Find out, is there a quiet space? That might be something in your Hanukkah programs to talk to them about. If there's a quiet room at the synagogue, if kids get overwhelmed, can they sit and decompress? It's a really good thing to have.
And that reminds me of the noise canceling headphones.
Exactly. Bringing those even to a family party where, again, if the music's playing and there are all the smells of the latkes, it could be overwhelming for kids. So having the noise canceling headphones can help a lot of kids. Getting up, sometimes kids just need to go out for fresh air and take a walk, and in the party is too long. No, having a sense so that you can have those positive family experiences but planning for it, thinking about, what your child needs. They're not going to eat the latkes if they have a limited diet. Pack the lunchbox, with some things they're going to eat so that we know hangry kids do not last at parties very long.
Or adults.
Yeah, same thing with gifts too. I noticed that as gifts become, something that kids look forward to and anticipate, sometimes there's also like an anxiety around it, and for some of our kids, waiting until if the ritual in your family is we light candles, then we have dinner, then we have gifts, maybe you need to be a little flexible and mix it up. Maybe you do the gifts first, so that everyone can open it, have that experience, and then bring everyone down, light the candles, then eat. Singing songs is something we do in my family, as well as, playing with the dreidel. But, if gifts are a trigger, really do what you can to make it not such an intense moment.
Thanks, Gabby.
Mikey, thank
many
you.
good ideas.
I know it's a lot to think about, a lot to plan, and we are here actually. If you watch this, we hope you'll share it in your community. And if you're planning a Hanukkah party, thinking about how you're going to do Hanukkah with your kids, just post a comment, and I'm happy to get in touch with you, and we can brainstorm so your Hanukkah can be really meaningful and warm and wonderful.
And thank you to everybody who posted suggestions and comments so far.
Yes,
while
we
we've been
look
talking.
forward to those comments. Take
Yeah.
care, everyone. Happy
Happy
Hanukkah.